The MiG-41, also referred to by its project name PAK-DP, Perspective Aviation Complex for Long-Range Interception, is a next-generation Russian interceptor aircraft that remains in the conceptual or early developmental stages as of mid-2025. It is designed to replace the MiG-31, a Soviet-era long-range interceptor, with an aircraft that reportedly aims to push the limits of speed, altitude, and weapons systems. However, there is still no publicly available prototype, no test flight data, and no evidence that production has started. All available information remains speculative, sourced mostly from Russian state media and military-affiliated publications. The original idea for the MiG-41 began circulating publicly in the mid-2010s, with increasingly bold claims made over the years. According to statements from Russian defense sources and officials affiliated with the United Aircraft Corporation and Mikoyan Design Bureau, the MiG-41 would be capable of flying at speeds between Mach 4 and Mach 5, at altitudes as high as 30 to 45 kilometers, close to near-space conditions. It was also said to be equipped with stealth technology, advanced radars, artificial intelligence-based onboard systems, and potentially armed with hypersonic missiles, anti-satellite weapons, and directed energy or electromagnetic pulse systems. Despite these ambitious claims, there has been no hard evidence to support the existence of such a system beyond digital concept art and occasional declarations from Russian officials. The technologies needed to enable reliable hypersonic flight, especially at sustained Mach 4 to 5 speeds, involve major breakthroughs in propulsion, thermal shielding, airframe materials, and avionics. Russia has not publicly demonstrated that it has solved these problems, and many experts question whether it even has the industrial base or funding to support such a leap in capability at this time. One of the major technical challenges of the MiG-41 would be propulsion. No currently available Russian aircraft engine is capable of sustaining Mach 4+ speeds in an operational interceptor role. While experimental propulsion concepts like ramjets, scramjets, or pulse detonation engines have been discussed in theoretical contexts, no such systems have been demonstrated in flight for combat aircraft within Russia's defense sector. The likely alternative, using modified engines from the Su-57, like the Izdaliye-30, would not deliver the required performance for hypersonic flight. Another obstacle is thermal protection. At Mach 4 and above, surface temperatures of the aircraft rise dramatically due to air friction, especially on the nose, wing edges, and engine inlets. This generates conditions that would likely destroy conventional airframe coatings and stealth surfaces. Materials capable of withstanding those conditions exist in theory and in limited aerospace applications, such as re-entry vehicles or experimental drones, but integrating them into a stealth-capable, reusable, and crewed aircraft remains a major engineering challenge. Even beyond the technical aspects, the project faces serious logistical and economic hurdles. Russia is currently struggling to produce sufficient numbers of existing fighters like the Su-57 and Su-35, both of which are significantly less complex than the proposed MiG-41. Sanctions imposed over the past decade have restricted access to critical components, especially in high-tech sectors like semiconductors, radar processing units, avionics, and advanced composites. These constraints make the realization of a futuristic interceptor even less plausible in the short or medium term. Independent military analysts, particularly from Europe and the United States, have generally viewed the MiG-41 as a symbolic or aspirational project rather than a functional weapons system under actual development. It is often described in Western media and defense journals as vaporware, a term used to describe systems that are announced or shown in concept form but have little or no chance of real-world deployment in the foreseeable future. The aircraft is increasingly perceived as a part of a strategic communication campaign aimed at demonstrating Russia's claimed technological ambition and resilience in the face of global isolation and military challenges. Some analysts argue that this form of military signaling is not new. During the Cold War, both the Soviet Union and the United States would sometimes exaggerate or showcase experimental designs to project strength or deter adversaries, even when the systems were far from operational. The MiG-41 fits this pattern. It frequently appears in state-sponsored news, defense expos, and interviews with Russian officials but with no verifiable developmental milestones. The MiG-41 has also become a subject of scrutiny and skepticism on international defense forums and online discussion platforms. Experienced aviation and military technology enthusiasts have pointed out the lack of technical credibility in many of the claims made about the aircraft. These include the practical infeasibility of operating a stealth-capable aircraft at hypersonic speeds, the massive logistical footprint required to support such a platform, and the absence of evidence from satellite imagery, test airspace logs, or manufacturing disclosures. To date, there has been no open-source satellite imagery showing a prototype on the tarmac, no technical patents published that support claims of breakthrough engine or airframe design, and no credible defense intelligence leaks that confirm the aircraft's readiness. Timelines have shifted repeatedly. Originally, some reports suggested a prototype could fly by 2025. Now, even pro-Russian sources have begun shifting the projected service entry of the MiG-41 to 2035 or later. In the absence of real-world demonstrations, the MiG-41 appears more like a concept used for strategic messaging than a practical military asset. Its primary role today may be to reinforce domestic confidence and project an image of technological advancement, especially during periods when Russia's military is stretched by real-world operational demands. While it is theoretically possible that Russia could pursue limited prototypes or experimental versions of such a system in the coming years, there is currently no confirmed progress suggesting that the MiG-41 will become a fully operational interceptor aircraft in the near future. As of mid-2025, the MiG-41 remains a theoretical platform without a functional prototype, grounded in speculative claims rather than demonstrable progress. It faces serious engineering, industrial, and financial obstacles that make it highly unlikely to be realized within the timelines previously stated. The project serves more as a tool for strategic signaling than as a credible development in active military aviation.